So, Bice, you happen to know very well Thomas Ammann. You were in charge, you co-created Parquet, I think. And so you happen to know him in Zurich in the early 70s?
Yes, Thomas was a dear friend and important, also an impressive personality, who was also a fantastic host and the center somehow of a new, very electric social life of inspiration. He was what you would call arbiter elegantorum. He gave us new ideas of lifestyle. Of course, we could not compete with his successful financial position and all that. Yes.
But what was his relation to contemporary art? Because he was an art dealer, but he was selling things like Van Gogh, for example, or Balthus. But what was his relation to young artists? And I'm intrigued by his relation to Cy Twombly.
Well, I saw him in Zurich the first time I met him was really in this kind of bars, restaurants one would meet as young students and being interested in, I don't know, certain lifestyle, music, etc. And his boyfriend was very much into cinema. Also, he also knew a lot of interesting young other friends we shared. And Thomas was always throwing dinner parties very early on, before he opened his own gallery, when he was still working with Bruno Bischofberger, and already introducing me to Andy Warhol, giving me the possibility to do an interview for the daily newspaper in Zurich.
Wow.
At the same time, his boyfriend, Thies Brunner, who's still a dear friend of mine, he brought to these dinner parties a lot of younger people whom he thought they were interesting to those dinner parties. At the same time, you would meet, I don't know, Bianca Jagger or some of the actors of the Fassbinder crowd, or you would even meet a big old legend like Douglas Sirk. So it was an unbelievable moment for me in my life, and I think in the Zurich culture, if you want.
And do you have any, do you remember anything about Cy Twombly?
Yes, Cy Twombly, I've met him there, also at dinner parties. I remember even a moment where I was standing next to Cy, and we were looking out of the window, and it started to snow, and it was like a very, I don't know, iconic, these kind of images in your memory, which make sense. You stand on a window next to Cy Twombly and look out to the snow in the garden. Yeah.
But Cy Twombly was not as famous as he is now, right?
That's true, yes, that's true. And I remember even that not long after I've met Cy Twombly at Thomas's house, I was in Paris. I was staying at the Hotel Louisiane, Rue du Seine. You know, this famous, but in the 80s already quite shabby hotel. And in the breakfast room, there was Cy Twombly and his son and his friend. And he said, well, I'm preparing the show at the Centre Pompidou, but they wanted to put me in another hotel, but I like to come here. I have memories. So,
and what do you think about the eye of Thomas Ammann?
Well, he was a very fast man, very concentrated. He had this capability also to take time. Also, he was incredibly quick. He took his time. He had a very good judgment because of that capabilities, discipline somehow to look and to think.
Mm-hmm. And he was, did he discover with you some of the young artists who became famous after that?
No, I think he never asked me anything, no. I think we were on that level that we exchanged certain ideas, or we talked about what we liked, but he was also, he saw the same shows. We were very influenced also by Jean-Christophe Ammann, who was a great curator, especially in the 70s and in the 80s. He was in Switzerland more important than Harald Seemann. Also, my estimation for Harald, of course, is very big. But in the 70s and 80s, there was Jean-Christophe Ammann, before at the Kunstmuseum Lucerne, and then at the Kunsthalle in Basel. And he was also the one who showed for the first time the Transavanguardia. So artists like Francesco Clemente, who was maybe the most important young artist at the time for Thomas Ammann.
Bon, merci beaucoup.
Merci Judith.